On the last episode of Born a Car, we frantically prepped our E30 from a trashed out beater to a rally car. And despite nights of hardships, no sleep or showers, and basically banging my head against the wall fearing unavoidable failure, somehow, the car got to a rally. Empire State Performance Rally is the closest rally to New York City, which means it brings a good field with some really unique cars, despite the fact that the roads are notorious for being car breakers. Every year, the rally organizers claim that the roads get better, and they do, but the term better should be used loosely.
Good. I have never seen a stage that rough, ever. That's really sketchy, especially when your back end is ass up in the air. That was fucking bullshit.
Aware of the rough stages, and the fact that rain was in the forecast, we opted to keep the same BFG all-terrain KO tires on the car instead of going with gravel tires. I figured that the larger sidewall would come in handy, and the softer compound may help with grip. So here we are, with our stock BMW E30, with a rally cage, riding on Bilstein suspension, a skid plate, and truck tires. It's cheap economy rally prep, no doubt. But saying we made it doesn't mean we're sorted. I drove the car here, but right before the start of the rally, it developed starting issues. And as the story continues, the rally becomes more about fixing issues than rallying. With registration, driver's meetings, and tech inspection preventing us from having ample time to figure out the no-start problem, we pushed the car through tech inspection, and the officials were kind enough to pass the car while watching us try to get it to run. My co-driver is my good friend Alex Jagger, who has never co-drove before. Usually, I co-drive for him. We both have next to no BMW knowledge, though at this point, we're learning quickly. But for the most part, we are relying on our friend Dan Downey for knowledge. He happens to rally a similar 325 IS.
Ryan and Alex, they're not BMW guys. I could tell by the way they were asking me questions all week and for a couple months now about what to do and how to set up the car and what will work and what won't. It's all just a learning process, especially with the new builds. There's things that'll go wrong.
Dan had a spare ECU with him, so we swapped the ECU and the car started. And with seconds to spare, we made it in time for our first stage.
5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Woo-hoo! Got a left 4. Way off! And right here is another left 4, so don't cut. Right 4 long, open.
Half a mile into the first stage, the car cut out again. We were left spectating on the side of the road.
The car started shutting off and sputtering, so we didn't know what to do, and we got towed out of the stage. My guys are working on it and figured out that the fuel pump actually had some kind of weird short somewhere in the wiring, and we just directly wired the fuel pump to the battery.
The fuel pump now ran off its own switch, bypassing the main harness. We then added lights for the upcoming night stages. With everything back in running order, we re-entered the rally in the afternoon. Alex and I got a good stage in.
Right 2, then we got left 4. At the end of the 150, you got a right 4. Yeah, right 4 here. You got 50 after the right 4 into a left 5.
But on our second stage of the afternoon, the car cut out again.
70. Pull over. What did we lose?
Get your OK out, get a triangle out.
I have fuses in my pocket.
Check the fuse.
You can hear it?
Pump is still working. Yeah.
See if it starts. I can't even get it to turn over.
Another wiring issue, which left us stranded in the woods.
We're in the woods, obviously. As you saw, we're into the turn, car cuts power, and just run up the stage again. It's wiring once again. I mean, this has just been a nightmare rally of wiring issues. This is the last stage of the day. And we're gonna have to get towed back. So, yeah.
This ended day 1 for us. We were towed back, and Dan figured out that the main power supply plug loosened up. It was a BMW specific quirk, and something we probably wouldn't have noticed had Dan not faced the same issue in his rally car.
All right, so we're here, day 2 ESPR. I can't believe the thing made it. We don't have any real fast times, but at this point, this rally is all about survival, and we're certainly trying our best to try to survive it.
In the service area, the attrition was obvious. Cars braking and done for the event. Somehow, despite the electrical issues, our E30 was holding up to the rough stuff, and we kept restarting and trying again.
Hell yeah! Oh yeah, that was a good stage! It's starting to feel worth it, Mr. Jagger. We got another stage.
Hell yeah.
It's already the morning and we got about as many stages in as we got yesterday.
Yeah, the whole day.
We were getting slammed around in the car, and just as I thought we might have sorted all the issues, the stages were so rough our battery box snapped off and the battery grounded itself to the car. We got back to service, tied it down. Got back out, again hoping we fixed the last problem. The clutch slave went.
Try to pump it.
Anyway, give it a little push.
Once we got the car moving, I had to drive the stages without the clutch. And believe me, when you're booking it through the woods, sliding, hitting bumps, listening to notes, and trying to keep the car on the road, the last thing you want to think about is shifting.
I rev matched down the stage, and Alex is like instructing me. He's like, no, you gotta do this, do this, do this.
Let it rev down, and then go.
Because he drove a lot of rev matching before. I haven't really rev matched that much. And when you're going through the woods at 60 miles an hour with no clutch, and you realize that your ability to clutch save the car on a turn or something like that is missing, it starts to get a little bit scary.
Rev it up higher. There you go.
Despite the useless clutch pedal, I was really trusting Alex's notes. For a guy who claimed to never want to sit with anyone, he sure does read notes well. We were fast, despite the mechanical issue. And my confidence in pushing the E30 100% lasted right until the point we found a mysterious landmine. A save of a lifetime.
Good driving. That f***ing thing sucks. Good driving.
That slam cracked our oil pan, so since we already were a DNF for the rally, we decided to keep it safe and pull the plug on the last 2 stages left. We needed to save this motor for Chump Car, and driving with a car losing oil was a risk not worth taking. We broke and stopped on stage 5 times, 3 of which we had to be towed out of. We fried an ECU, direct wired a fuel pump, grounded a battery, and almost lost the car into the woods. Most people would see this as a failure, but from my point of view, with the little time we had to pull it all together, and my team's constant struggle to get the car back on stage, breakdown after breakdown, this was a success, and I had a lot of people to thank for it.
So we didn't really actually finish. We DNF'd, but hey, I'm smiling, he's laughing.
Absolutely.
That was awesome, man. This guy's a pretty good co-driver for only being a driver. Next time, we are going to be trying to take this car and convert it back to a circuit car for Chump Car in Alabama in literally a month and a half.
Yeah, less Less than a month and a half.
And with our work schedules, that's going to be tight as hell. So
Yep.
stay tuned, because we made it to the rally. Let's see if we make it to Jump Car.
I admit it was a little embarrassing to just show up and break down a bunch of times. But honestly, that's rally. If you're not braking, you're probably not pushing hard enough. And when we had a chance to push, all that bullshit we put up with during the event no longer mattered. Flat out, 10/10ths, sideways for even a few stages made it all worth it. And that's what makes rallying the best motorsport. Period.
I'm gonna